Oh my.
Hey, Grace.
Hello. How'd your committee meeting go?
Hi. It was really good. Yeah, it was good stuff. How about you?
It was good. The communications committee did a lot of talking about some cool stuff.
Awesome. Are you feeling good? Do you want to go over questions? Do you want to? You good?
Probably. Hold on. Did I have to buy the loudest keyboard imaginable? I am actually going to finish this email because I met somebody from Piedmont Community College in the communications call, and she does workforce stuff and they're working on certifications. Unfortunately, she could not join us now because I gave her like 5 minutes to head this up.
Yeah.
And she has another meeting, but I am connecting with her via email. I've CC'd you, and I am just going to link to the website so they can look at Kidwin, and then she's gonna include her director in the email chain and we can talk more about Kidwin and Piedmont.
Awesome.
Yes.
Good stuff. Super. And so we have what, like 10 people on this panel?
Yes.
So the way I would approach it is, I mean, obviously everybody, is their own person, but when we did our panelist kind of check-in call, what I did was I asked Megan and Callie to introduce the collegiate wind competition as a whole, like explain what it is, because they have a tendency to just say CWC all the time and not really explain it. So for the benefit of everybody, explain the competition and then the fact that they've got an interdisciplinary team, and then introduce their team members. And then we'll kind of call them the collective JMU team, as opposed to identifying them as 7 different panelists, if that makes sense. So that would be my suggestion. And then I think you've seen the outline of like introducing yourself and explaining who the center is and what we're doing here. And then having all the panelists introduce themselves and then delve into the questions. And I'm happy to monitor the chat for you, but it's pretty easy to monitor it while you're talking. I don't know that you really need my help, but I'll be here if you need me. And of course, happy to answer any questions on the panel if there is a need.
Yes.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Awesome. So that might be also another opportunity for CWC to get involved, it looks like, with your getting into the high school classrooms and promoting renewable energy career options.
Yeah.
They've got their PowerPoint ready to go and they just need to shop it around. So good stuff. Yeah. Awesome. Well, we have 68 registered today. As of the last time I looked at it. Is that right? 69. We just got another one. So 69 folks registered today. So again, I didn't know if maybe you want to send out a last minute reminder of the Zoom link, especially because we had so many folks sign up at the last minute. We just had another one, like literally as I was sitting here, sign up, 70.
All right.
So
yeah, I can do that. Let's go to the one that's a spreadsheet. Not that one. Not that one. All of those.
He just signed up again. Like, do they not understand that they only have to sign up once?
Nope.
We got a lot of people who've signed up more than once.
Okay.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
Huh.
John did sign up twice. All right. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, Remy. I'm Brian Pace.
Hey, Brian. Nice to see you. I saw you on the VEWC call this morning. So.
Just jumped off.
Yeah. Well, thanks for being here. I think this is going to be a good conversation. So.
I look forward to it.
And Grace, are you the host?
I am.
I think Brian and Rema had the PowerPoint maybe that you guys wanted to share at some point. So just want to make sure they have the ability to share their screen when it's ready. That's all.
Who can share? All participants.
Yeah, I'm not sure that, I don't think she is going to show that. Remy.
Oh, okay. Well, you'll have the opportunity if you want to.
If you need. Okay, thank you.
And like I told her yesterday, the other thing is, you know, we're kind of keeping this as an informal conversation, but if there are resources, links or PowerPoints or anything like that that you'd like to share with folks, we can put them in the chat, and then we can also go ahead and put them on the website. So after the wind conversation, we had some nice offshore resource. Oh, that's beautiful, right. Ella. Thank you. Looks like, yeah, it's beautiful. Big snowflake. I'm going to show everybody. Look at our beautiful picture.
That is beautiful. Great job.
Having fun with math today.
Yeah.
While mom's on endless calls. Did you do your worksheet yet?
I didn't.
Okay. Why don't you work on that and then you can have lunch? Really?
No lunch.
You don't want to eat lunch?
I do
Maybe Daddy would make us mac and cheese.
not.
I'll eat your mac and cheese, Ella.
Oh, she can't hear you guys.
Oh.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah, I said I'll eat your mac and cheese. I'm hungry for lunch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I want what I would love to do
Is play with your neighbors?
Mhm.
Yes, I know.
Uh-huh. You can't play if you don't have food in your tummy to give you all of the energy, though.
I have lunch packed, and I have stuff that's still in my lunchbox.
Well, you better go eat your lunchbox
Yeah,
then.
you should definitely eat your lunch.
I haven't finished.
Do I get some? Are they barbecue?
You get 2.
Don't poke me in the eye, please.
You did.
You almost did.
I did not.
Okay. We're
This
this is the Ella show, apparently.
Yes.
We have a webinar today. We're just gonna
Oh, yeah.
have Ella just talk to us all day.
Of course.
All right, you're plugging this thing in, right? Because I don't want you to lose your battery. Make sure you plug it in and do your worksheet, please. I love schooling from home. It's the best.
Yeah. I can imagine.
Oh, it's fun. Hey, Megan, thanks for being on. Gotta.
Hi,
How's it going?
good. How are you?
We're doing great. We've got quite the panel today.
Yeah.
Grace, John doesn't have the link for today. Can you send it
No,
to
he does. I already sent it.
He just, did you respond to that email that he just sent us?
No, I sent out that last minute RSVP reminder with a bunch of like all of the new emails that were on the list. So he did get it twice. I hope he did register twice.
He did. I don't know why. I'll just respond to him with it again, just because I don't know what he's gonna look at. Okay.
Grace, I got your last one, so thank you.
Perfect. Hi, George. How you doing?
Doing well. I don't know if I'm the him you were talking about, but anyway.
No, John is asking for the link now, so
Oh,
step behind you.
that would be your friend of mine, John Miles.
Yes, that would be.
Well,
Hi, Rema.
I'm glad there's somebody else who's even more last minute than me.
We actually we're literally getting signups as we were logging on to the call. So there's a lot of last minute ones coming in. So that's great.
Hi there.
Hi, Rema. Thanks for
Rema.
being here.
Yes, of course. Thank you. Thank you for putting this all together.
Oh, glad to.
We're happy.
We'll wait a bit because we had about 70 folks signed up for today's webinar. So we're
Typically,
hoping,
are they more students, teachers? What would you say the mix is at this point?
Students
I think it's
mostly.
mostly students and mostly college students, I'm thinking. Jamie's giving extra credit for them to do these. A lot of students are.
Well, there's a great incentive.
It is. It gets our
is.
numbers up, but we need more conversation in the chat is what we need, but we'll see if we can get it going today. Awesome.
I just had somebody sign up, so I
Hey,
am
Robin.
forwarding that along.
Thanks for being here, Robin. I see Callie just joined us.
Hello.
Hey, Callie.
Good morning. One of our
And Leith is here. Like we got, hey, Leith, how's it going?
Good.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah, no problem.
Hey, Remy, will there be a bunch of students from your collegiate wind competition team?
Yes,
There
3 of them are
will
here
be.
already. We're
That- I was thinking,
are
as
the
I-
panelists.
Yeah, I was figuring anyone who's like right here, right now, thinking they may be on the team.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, George, did you guys, did ODU put together a team for the Marine competition last year?
No, we did not.
Oh, are you guys planning to do one in the future?
To be honest with you, Remy, it's been offshore wind has kept me so busy. I've kind of lost touch with a lot of the marine hydrokinetic stuff. So is they're putting together an MHK competition?
Yeah, last year was their first Marine Energy collegiate competition. So it's very similar to the wind collegiate wind, the wind competition, but it's
Right.
based in energy, and it's very yeah, it was really interdisciplinary. So I was interested to see.
Yeah,
if
no, I'll
anybody-
Google it. I'm sure I can find it if it's still open. I don't, they may have already closed the registration, but anyway, I'll look.
Yeah. Hey, Tom and David, thank you for joining us.
Hey, no problem. Good to meet you
Wow.
guys.
Yeah, thank you so much. I think we're waiting. Jamie is supposed to be joining us, and then a couple more of the collegiate wing competition folks. We've got a huge panel today, so it's gonna be awesome.
It's gonna be fun.
There's Jamie. Hey, Jamie, how's it going?
Hey, good. How are you guys?
Good.
Good.
We're gonna give
Always.
it a couple more minutes, I think. See if we can get some more folks on board. Jacqueline, I like your background.
Yes.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Myself on mute.
Grace, I'll let you start whenever you're ready. So whenever, just
Yeah.
it's up to you. I think we're only missing a couple from the collegiate wing competition team, maybe Nathaniel and
Yeah, let's get started at 12:05. I'll give some folks some time to load in if they're having any issues or didn't see the email yet.
Yeah, I believe Nathaniel had something important pop up, so I don't think he's going to be able to make it.
Yeah, it's all right. Alrighty then. I think we've kind of seen oh, there's a lot of people rolling in at this moment. Perfect timing. Okay. Let's go ahead and get started, folks. My name is Grace. I am the Events and Communications Manager for the Center for the Advancement of Sustainable Energy here at James Madison University. And we are a center in the university dedicated to research and development, education and outreach for the renewable energy industry, sustainability as a whole, and just kind of green efforts on the campus and in Virginia. We are joined today by an incredible panel, and I'm gonna let them go around and introduce themselves. When we get to the collegiate wind competition team, I'm just gonna ask that you all give us your names, your major, your expected graduation date, and then we'll have Callie and Megan kind of explain the CWC competition as a whole. But I'm going to get started with Remy Pengel. She is also a member of CASE, our managing director. And so I will let her go ahead and introduce herself, maybe say more about CASE if there's anything I missed, and we'll keep going.
Thanks, Grace. Yeah, I'm Remy Pengel. I am the managing director at CASE here at JMU, but I'm also the education manager. So I am responsible for bringing renewable energy education resources to K-12 teachers and students throughout the Commonwealth. And I also wear another hat, and I work with a network of states around the country that are doing similar things and bringing renewable energy education to their collective teachers and student networks within their states. So I'm hoping to help bring a more of a national perspective if students have questions about programs outside of Virginia and what's going on around the country. I'm hoping I can shed some light there.
Awesome. Let's go to Robin.
Good afternoon. Hi, my name is Robin Lucy, and I am a business development manager at Dominion Energy. I work with various stakeholders such as real estate, external affairs, environmental services, and project construction on the self-development of solar projects. Our team manages the site selection, evaluation of the interconnection for PJM filing. We work with various permitting activities as well as due diligence tasks throughout the development process. So thank you for inviting me today, and I look forward to the discussion.
Awesome, thank you. Jamie.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jamie Mears, and I am a project developer with Orsted, operating under their onshore North America division. My primary focus as a developer is the East Coast solar markets in PJM and CERC. And I am also a JMU alumni. I graduated from the ISAT program in May of last year, and I'm an alumni of the Collegiate Wind Competition as well. So excited to share some more information about these programs with you guys today. Thanks, Grace.
Awesome. David.
Hi, everyone. My name is David Stimson. I work for AES Clean Energy. I've been in my current role for almost 3 years now. I am also pretty new to solar, pretty fresh out of college. So at least in my own head, I'm pretty close in age to you guys. That may not be actually very true, but so, you know, I hope to offer a little bit of perspective on, you know, how to get into this industry straight out of college, which is what I did. All my friends who were, you know, taking a couple months off to go to Europe and travel, I went, you know, 6 days from graduation straight into my first job in solar. So similar to what Robin does, I do a lot of work in PJM in solar development. It's a very broad role, akin to sort of like a quarterback role. So we'll start with an area of interest, and we'll work the project from land acquisition through permitting, through interconnection. And then what I pass off is a fully permitted project with all the land to our construction team, who actually goes out and puts steel in the ground and builds it.
Fantastic. All right. Brian Pace.
Good afternoon. I am Brian Pace. I am the coordinator of advanced manufacturing at New College Institute. We're located in Martinsville, Virginia. And I'm like David. I am kind of new to the wind industry and finding more and more every day. I actually started in a family business here in Martinsville after I graduated from college, spent time there, and decided after about 10 years I wanted to get into education. And I spent 25 years or more of my life in education, with my last job there being the director of the Piedmont Government School for Mathematics, Science, and Technology. We had a site here in Martinsville and one in Danville. I really loved that, but when I retired, I just wasn't ready to quit. I wanted to keep working, and so that's when I landed here at New College Institute. And as I said, this is something new when it comes to the wind, because about a year ago, our director, with input from us, decided that we would pursue a training provider of wind turbines. And so I'll go into that story later, but that's we've just recently got a certification to be a GWO training provider. So we got a lot ahead to do, but looking forward to that.
Awesome. Great. Rema is unmuting herself. There we go.
Yes. Sorry, mouse malfunction. Hi, everyone. I'm Rema McManus. I'm the Offshore Wind Program Specialist at Old Dominion University. I actually had the pleasure of taking the basic safety training course there at NCI, the college there with Brian Pace. So that was a very exciting opportunity. But much like the past two, I also am new at this, and with offshore wind being such a new industry in the States, it's new for everybody, I feel, so at least in here. So there's still a lot to do, a lot to learn. So yeah, thanks for having me here.
We are happy to have you. And last but not least, we are going to introduce the JMU CWC team, the collegiate wind competition team. Let's start with Callie and then go through everyone who's here.
Hi everyone, my name is Callie Chaplin. I am a current JMU student under the major of ISAT, and I'm focusing in sustainable energy development and the environment. Oh, I'm expected to graduate this May 2021.
Awesome. Leith.
Hey everyone, my name is Leith Reyes. I am a senior engineering major at James Madison University. I'm minoring in computer information systems, and I'm expected to graduate in May. So I've just been working on the turbine development side of the collegiate wind competition. So I've been having a lot of fun doing that, and I'm looking forward to this conversation.
Awesome. Who's next? Jacqueline.
Hi, so I'm Jacqueline Rutherford. I'm an engineering major as well. I'm minoring in mathematics, and I'm graduating this May as well. For the turbine, I'm mostly doing like management / helping with testing in the controls and sensors area, or honestly just assisting like wherever I can to help everyone. But yeah.
Megan.
Hi, I'm Megan Jennings. I'm a senior at JMU, also in the ISAT department. I'm concentrating in sustainable energy development and the environment. And then I also have my minor in environmental information systems. And Callie and I are part of the project development team for the CWC.
Awesome. Was that everybody on the CWC team that's here with us? If I missed you, you can speak up now. Cool. We also have Tom Allen on the line. He's going to join us as a panelist. So Tom, can you introduce yourself?
Hey folks, yeah, I'm a professor of geography at Old Dominion University, and I specialize in coastal and marine applications of GIS, Geographic Information Systems. I'm currently working with some colleagues here on developing a platform and a solution for siting wind offshore and onshore that would essentially deconflict operations with military readiness and sort of security. So that's a big effort, and it's ongoing, dynamic on the policy side of things. Be happy to talk with you a little more about both that and GIS.
Awesome. All right, well, I believe that is all of our panelists. We have quite the spread for you all today. So I'm gonna get us started right here at the top with a question for every panelist. And if you would like to say something, unmute yourself and just start talking. If we've got a little bit of overlap, you we can figure out who to talk first. But again, if anybody has any questions for our panelists, you are welcome to put it in the chat. Remy will be moderating that for me, as well as joining us as a panelist. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna ask kind of the big one right off the top. What and when did you get the spark to pursue a career path in renewable energy? So if you are a college student now, what was it that inspired you to graduate and go into the renewables field? If you are in the renewables field now, if you've been here for a while, what was it that led you to this?
Hi, Grace.
Okay. There we go. David.
We all want to go.
Mine actually is very similar to a lot of your stories. Mine came about in college. I was an environmental science major at the University of Michigan. Unfortunately, we didn't have as many cool projects and like renewable energy specialties that you guys did. So it was kind of like environmental science or bust. I had an interest in renewable energy, but it wasn't something that I was actively studying or pursuing until I found out about a project through Students for Clean Energy that was basically meant to make a case to the university that it should be procuring renewable energy through a power purchase agreement, through a PPA. Up until that point, the University of Michigan was around like 2 to 3% renewable, and was 20 to 25% behind its greenhouse gas emissions reduction goals. So a group of students and I basically wrote a paper that in our minds was going to get passed off to future students, and we were going to all graduate and they'd pick up our work. However, the faculty did not have that in mind, so they accelerated our project. We ended up writing the paper, getting it published through the University of Michigan Energy Institute, and then presenting it to the Board of Regents and to the president. I'm happy to say that as of last year, the university accepted our research and will be signing a renewable energy PPA to meet their energy reductions goals starting in 2024. So it kind of snowballed out of control in like a really good way.
Mm-hmm.
We thought we weren't going to be doing anything significant, and then it just sort of caught fire. And then that's what really sparked me to get into renewables. I was applying for jobs at the time. And, I'm sure you guys will be doing that soon, or if you haven't started already. It's a pretty tough process. It's not easy, kind of selling yourself to a lot of different people. And as soon as I started applying for renewable jobs, I got excited each time I applied for a job. So that was, a big sign to me that I was heading in the right direction, and frankly, haven't looked back since.
Love that. All right, who had unmuted themselves as well?
Yeah, I was gonna just say my story is actually pretty similar. I always thought of clean energy and renewable energy when coming into college, but it wasn't like an idea of like a professional work field like I would go into until I got the opportunity to join our capstone project, which I heard about when we had to pick for junior year, and that was like the most attractive one to me. I just enjoyed the idea of clean energy and thought it was like the most helpful, of course, for the environment and all that. And yeah, it's kind of like where my interest started.
Awesome. We've got Remy with her hand raised.
I never used that function before. That was really cool.
I love it.
I don't know how to put it down now, but anyway.
I got it.
So my story is kind of interesting, and maybe Tom will appreciate, but I graduated from JMU back a long time ago. I'm not even going to say year, from the ISAT program, but I went to grad school for oceanography. And I worked in the oceanography field with remote sensing and GIS for quite a while. But back, at that point, I was in Florida and we were dealing with, dying coral reefs and overfishing. And every day it was just like this new problem that we're talking about. And when I had the opportunity to come back to Virginia and work with the the Coastal Energy Research Consortia, they were focusing on offshore wind, and I thought it was a great way to take my skill set and apply it to solutions for climate change as opposed to looking into the problems every day. So I had never really thought about renewable energy in school, and it happened to be a path that my career took, just happenstance. But I'm so glad that I made the switch to renewable energy, and like David, I haven't looked back. So it's just a little bit of a different story, but definitely I think that draw to do good things and look at solutions tends to be one that we see a lot.
Awesome. Anyone else before we go on to the next question?
I'll jump in real quickly. As I mentioned before, I am new with this. As a matter of fact, if you'd have told me 2 years ago that I would be pursuing a field in this, I'd have said, no way. But life changes quickly. And as I said, about a year ago, our interim director, who is Karen Jackson, formerly the Secretary of Technology for Virginia, had this vision for us to put together a wind training provider program. And it kind of mushroomed from there. We became involved in trying to pursue our Global Wind Organization, or GWO certification. And that's how I got into it. It was a big learning curve, something you probably don't want to try to do during a pandemic, but we had to do it anyway, because we set the goal to be able to achieve that by this past January. And so not only did I have to learn a lot about GWO, but just about the field in general, and put together a training facility here that we couldn't travel to anywhere to see, but we did have a incredible mentor. They're a big hitter in this industry. I can't say their name, but we could not have done it without it. So anyway, I say all that to say, I kind of came in the back door, but it's been very exciting. And I have to brag, Rema mentioned that she was in our program. Rema is also an amazing individual. She was something else, and to watch her to train, especially on our climbing tower, was amazing. So hats off to her.
Thank you, Brian. Yeah, I can tail on the end of that as well. Thank you. Yeah, it really was a great experience. And along with Remy, where the solutions based or oriented, it definitely played a role in that for me as well. I actually was not in the wind industry at all, or renewable industry for that matter. I started off with new technology, working with unmanned systems at the NIA, which is the National Institute of Aerospace. They're kind of umbrellaed under NASA. And so working with entrepreneurs that built drones is kind of what led me to offshore wind, because looking at new ways to inspect blades or being safe with technicians, it kind of played into that. And there was an opportunity that rose out of ODU, and I applied. And so did I see myself working with renewables? No, actually I didn't, but I'm really excited to be here and to be a part of it now. So thanks, Brian.
I love that. What a story. Awesome. Let's keep it rolling. I'm gonna pivot us towards talking about the collegiate wind competition. So Megan or Callie, would you be willing to just kind of talk more about what the collegiate wind competition is?
Yeah, of course. So the Collegiate Wind Competition is a national competition hosted by the Department of Energy, where colleges across the United States compete in 2 different projects or contests: the project development contest and then the turbine prototype contest. And so Megan and I are part of the project development contest, which in this project, we are developing a theoretical 100 megawatt wind farm in Western South Dakota. So we're going through all of the steps that you would in industry, although we are undergrad students. So we're looking at wind resource mapping, interconnection agreements, environmental impacts, noise, shadow flicker, the whole shebang there. And then we will, well, it's online this year, but we compete at the end of the year to, see who has the best and most feasible project. And they definitely choose a tricky spot for this project, because Western South Dakota, we've definitely run into some issues with, interconnection. It's not a very populated area. So there's definitely tasks that we have to overcome during this competition, but I think it was David earlier was saying how he got excited applying for jobs in the renewable industry. I get excited working on this project because it's something that I am passionate about, and it kind of doesn't feel like work. It's just exciting. So I'll let Jacqueline describe the second part of this competition, which is the prototype development contest. So I'll hand it over there.
Right. So the engineering team's mostly focusing on the turbine development, which is where we go through like the entire engineering design process from ideation, like brainstorming, up until like we test a physical prototype that we make and fabricate. Right now we're kind of in like the testing and iteration phase. We have like most of the prototype structure developed. We have like a set of blades and rotors and the yaw system, generator. We're mostly just working on like the electronics right now, but we also have a wind tunnel our advisor purchased this past fall. So we actually have like the opportunity to use that to physically test the wind turbine in a wind tunnel and see how the influence of wind speed does on our turbine. But yeah, other than that, that's mostly it. The CWC, of course, gives us like certain specifications and requirements to meet during each phase of wind. So like for the cut-in wind speed, it kind of happens around like 2.5 meters per second up until like 5 meters per second. And then we also are challenged with creating a power curve, something like that. Power curve like between the 5 meters per second and 11 meters per second. So we kind of like try and make like as much power as we can in that duration of wind speed. And then it's also supposed to be designed to maintain up to 22 meters per second. Of course, it's not going to be tested under that condition since it might break and it's just not safe. But our wind tunnel actually can go up to 11 meters per second, which is really helpful since the competition was originally supposed to test our turbine in those conditions, but now it being virtual, we'll just have to do the testing on campus. But Laith, if there's anything I missed that you could add to, I feel like I kind of covered everything, but.
Yeah, no, you basically covered everything, and I don't want to take up too much time, but it's just a great opportunity because I came into college not knowing exactly what I wanted to do and not knowing anything really about all the different disciplines of engineering. And so being able to build a wind turbine sort of taught me about electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, and aerodynamic engineering. So it's a great learning experience and something that I've had a lot of fun doing.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna bounce off of that actually and ask Jamie to tell us more about. She was a CWC team member for 2 years, and I want you to specifically talk about how being a part of CWC helped you in the job acquisition market and how you were able to interact with the industry before graduating to decide where you were gonna go afterwards.
Yeah, absolutely. And as a little bit of background, I was an ISAT major at JMU, and I concentrated in renewable energy and sustainability leadership. And so I found that the collegiate wind competition was a perfect balance to strike between the technical side of energy and learning about the components of development, engineering, et cetera, but also the human aspect of development, where through the collegiate wind competition, we had opportunities to meet with landowners, either in person or virtually, depending on the world status at the time, and just progressing through the stages that I would one day see as a developer, even though at the time I didn't know that that was what I wanted to do. I was putting myself in those situations. And so I actually competed for 3 years, and it was 2 different competitions entirely. The first round was a Virginia specific development process that we went through, where now as a developer and developing in Virginia, I'm able to use some of these skills that I learned that directly compare. And then the second round was the 2020 competition, which was when everything first went virtual. And that taught me the skills of how to work productively in a virtual environment when things are turning upside down and everyone's in the same boat. How do you continue to be productive, and how do you push forward through that? And all of those skills combined were really the first thing I was asked about in every job interview that I had. Once I knew that I wanted to move into this industry, and potential employers were recognizing this competition on my resume and seeing how relevant the experience was, they would give me an opportunity during my job interviews to explain how this competition really formed my view of the development scope. And they were shocked at how closely this competition replicates real world development. And when DOE and NREL sat down to create the competition, that was their goal. They intentionally sat down with developers in the industry. What are the main challenges that these developers face, and how can we teach undergraduates in school before they enter the industry, so that way they're already prepared to tackle these challenges? And so all in all, the Collegiate Wind Competition is what set me up for success in the industry. And there are so many resources available to students outside of the CWC too, because there are only specific schools that are competing in this competition, for example. But if you have the opportunity, I would highly, highly recommend it, because now I'm able to use these skills every day in my job.
That's awesome. So let's look at the maybe a hiring side of things. Robin, can you tell us kind of what are those things that you guys are looking for when you're hiring at Dominion, and of course beyond, but just those majors, the skill set certifications? What are some of the things that you look for in your potential new hires?
Sure, of course. A little background on me, and then we can go into that as well. So I've been with Dominion Energy for a little over 16 years. Yeah, it's a long time. It's exciting. I started there in the tax department, actually. So right out of college, into the tax department, filing tax returns, having real life jobs, pretty fun. And then I moved into the tax research group, a few years later. And then that's where I got the taste of, whenever our industry started moving towards wind and solar. So I got the chance and the opportunity to work on the research side of, the tax, side of, what tax credits are there, how can we, efficiently, build these solar projects and make them viable for our customers and ratepayers. So, it was a great opportunity. And then the business development job came available, and I decided to apply for that. And I started there actually last March. So I've been in this current role for a year. And so, it's been a lot of learning, and I got the opportunity to work with the team for 2 weeks before the virtual environment hit. So I really had to pick up this job virtually for the past year. So that really taught, how to be productive during the virtual environment, just as Jamie was mentioning. So it is important to kind of think about, what's the next steps, how you can, what you're looking for in your job, in the career. And so, to answer your question about like what Dominion would look for, we're really looking for, very diverse backgrounds. I mean, there's people in our business development group, such as myself, that came from tax, but there's others that came from finance or financial, financial analysis. There's someone that came from the nuclear side of things. So, it's a very broad, diverse environment. And what's great about Dominion is there's so many different job opportunities with solar and wind. There's project construction, there's development, in our group, there's tax, accounting, legal. So, really all these different fields, supply chain, accounts payable, all these different jobs touch, on the solar, renewable side, wind environment. So, we're really looking for someone, with a diverse background, willing to jump in and just being, really eager to help make, Dominion, continue to thrive and help customers.
So, well, that's fantastic to hear. Let's swing into more about the folks on the call who are with organizations or colleges that are doing programs that help students with stuff like this. Rena and Brian, can you tell us more about your new certificate program and what all that entails? I know we've touched on it a little bit, but we'd love to get some more details on what benefits that offers to the folks who go through that program.
Sure.
Yeah.
You want to go first, Rema? Or
Well, yeah. Do you want to talk about the training first and your
Yeah,
program, and then I can talk about what I did there?
yeah, actually, I can. As I said, we are now a GWO Global WIN organization training provider facility, and we are offering two aspects of the training. One is called the BST, which is the basic safety training. And within that, you spend a week here at our facility training. We have the most up-to-date and modern equipment that we could get, again, working with our mentor that really helped us. But in the BST training, you have a first aid course. You have working at heights, which obviously you will be doing, if you were involved with a turbine, manual handling, which involves many aspects, but a lot of times you've got to be prepared. If someone gets ill in the turbine, you've got to get them down to safety. And so again, Rema went through all of that training. And then the other part of basic safety is the fire awareness. And we are fortunate to be located directly across the street from our city fire department. So we came up with a partnership with them to where they helped us train there. And so there are different types of fires that could be taking place within a turbine. And so they train on what to use to put them out and how to do that properly. The other side is the basic technical training. We'll call it BTT. And that's where you've got three aspects that you look at. One is the electrical. We actually have individual electrical units that we had put together. Actually had a local electrician work with us to put all of that together. And so when you're here in the training, each delegate, they call it, or student, have their own training electrical system. And so not only do they learn about how it works and all of that, but also the trainer will come in at another time and actually take part of it apart. And so the student then has to come back in and troubleshoot and figure out what's wrong and be able to fix that. Actually, again, a real world application. Another is hydraulics, which is a big thing with wind turbines. So again, we have individual hydraulic systems that our students or delegates can work with to not only learn how they work, but also, again, to troubleshoot. And the last part of that is mechanical. And that is, again, working with torque and different things. And as many of you guys were talking about being in the ISET program or engineering, I know you understand all of that. But it's you're working with some very large parts when you're working in turbines. And so we actually simulate those here and able to do that. And you do each training, the safety training is a week long. We go Monday through Thursday, 8:30 to 4:30, and then it's a half a day Friday. And then same thing for the basic technical training. So you can do both, you just cannot do them at the same time. It is something you have to do on site here because it is such a hands-on. We can't do it virtually. So that's been a challenge for us, but hopefully we're headed in the right direction with COVID now. And that's pretty much it. Again, once you finish the program, you will have a credential, stackable credential possibly also, but you have your certification and from GWO as a, to have passed these classes. So Remy, you want to share?
Yeah, definitely. I was given the opportunity through Brian and Karen Jackson there to actually take the BST, the basic safety training. And so I am technically GWO certified. I still would need my sea safety survival module to completed before I can go out on an offshore wind turbine. But as it sits now, I can actually go in a turbine, go all the way up if I wanted to. I would need to be paired with someone that has a little bit more training and has been doing it for a much longer time. That's usually how they pair their technicians. In the training, it was very in-depth. Being a technician is not for the faint of heart. It was very rigorous, and there's a lot of information and a lot of things I never would have thought about or it would have never crossed my mind. And one of the most shocking things that I experienced or to learn about was that you have to be aware of spiders or different animals that may be in a turbine that I never thought about. And bees or hornets, that's a big one for turbines. And so all those little things for me working now with offshore wind, the marine life is where my focus was. And I didn't think that there'd be living things within the turbine that you had to be aware of as a technician. But like Brian said, you're it. That's the technicians that go out together, anyone coming to help you if there's an emergency situation, you've got to get them down. They're waiting for you to bring that technician down. So that was definitely an eye-opening experience, especially when you have to do a rescue over and over and put in different emergency circumstances where, if they're under the machine, if they're on the tower, how you go about rescuing someone to save their life was a big experience. So yeah. But yeah, it was definitely great. Thank you.
Yeah. Tom, please let us know more about ODU. You are focused more on the GIS skill sets and applications, but we'd love to know more about your program and maybe some offshore career outlook if you've got anything to say there too.
Yeah, I can say a couple things there. Obviously there's going to be a lot of demand for the technical side of it and the maintenance and repair. So that I don't want to underestimate that, but I'm involved with some projects and companies that are at the early exploration sort of phase in some aspects. So geoscience companies like Fugro, another huge one is Dewberry. They're engineering sorts of companies, but they also do things like bathymetric survey, geologic exploration, marine weather and climate modeling, ocean circulation, a whole bunch of things that span the whole gamut of environmental. And all of that data needs to be geolocated in databases, a lot of it on the cloud, a lot of it on high performance workstations. You're investing millions of dollars, tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars. So it needs to be fairly high confidence in some of this. So those companies are literally making appointments with me to speak to classes. And the other day I actually had a call with John Miles up at JMU. Some of you probably know, very similar. So I encourage what you're doing, having a broad interdisciplinary background, even if it's just within engineering. It sounds like those are pretty strong assets. What we're doing in developing siting tools is we take into account different types of users. So in fact, one of the colleagues that works on this project with me is an English professor in technical communications, and his specialty is user design. So when we develop a GIS, we take into account the user's needs, and we're not assuming they know GIS or they know the about 6 dozen acronyms that we've run into with military airspace, MTRs and CVALs and everything else you can imagine. So having a technical mindset and being able to teach yourself is a big aspect of that. On the specifics of GIS, I teach a class a semester in spatial analysis of coastal environments, where we use synthetic aperture radar, bathymetry, LiDAR, and we do tools and analysis like you probably do in most GIS classes. We are using mostly Esri. I saw the question there, ArcGIS, ArcGIS Pro specifically, but we're doing a lot of cloud-based GIS these days. In this fall, we are launching a new master's in data science at ODU. It's actually just started. It has business, engineering, and a new geospatial concentration. So shameless plug, if you wanted to work in this field, be on the coast, you might have some good opportunities in our area. Those kind of skills are like machine learning, for example. You can do that with GIS now. You can use satellite imagery. You can use real-time dashboards that pull in the mechanisms of the turbines themselves, control them, look at weather forecasts coming at you from a high-resolution model, and then optimize the turbine network itself. A recent question was, how do we cite where the electric submersed cables are going to be routing to the coast? And I know these are spatial questions. And so developing tools to do that is kind of what we're about.
Yeah, and Remy asked, is ODU still rolling out a certificate in offshore wind siting?
I believe something is on the works with that. I've got a couple colleagues on the call. George Hagerman and Orlando might have a little more info on that. I've not seen it yet, but it could be happening. We do have a new certificate or concentration, I think, in marine science technology, and that's sort of related. We're working with robotics and developing a couple of autonomous vehicles, drones, that can do some of the mapping.
That's cool.
Maybe they can do some inspection as well. So
that's awesome. Yeah, I want to, we have been very Virginia focused. And for anybody who doesn't know, Remy wears several hats, one of which is executive director of Repowering Schools. So she is connected with a lot of universities across the country. And Remy, I was wondering if you could maybe shed some light on who else offers renewable energy programs that you know of off the top of your head, not just in Virginia, but across the country, for anybody who wants to maybe go further.
Yeah, definitely. And I'll start in Virginia. We have ODU here, fabulous. JMU, of course, is doing great things. But not to be unmentioned is Virginia Tech, which also has a collegiate wind competition team and has been highly involved in wind energy engineering, solar as well. So if you're looking to stay in Virginia, the community colleges are fabulous, but our university system is fabulous too, and everybody really is focusing on renewables. So lots to pick from. On a national standpoint, I mean, I know, I'm not sure we have a lot of high school students on this call, but for the college students, even if you're thinking postgraduate degree programs, like ODU has this fabulous data science one. There's a lot of other great graduate programs out there. The top ones that come to the top of my head, especially for wind energy, Penn State has a fabulous program, and they had a lot of that online right now. And they teach that through their aeronautics engineering space, and the faculty member there is amazing. UMass Amherst is definitely a hot spot in postgraduate wind degree programs. Those are the big ones that come off the top of my head, but we work with the universities in Montana, Boise State in Idaho, South Dakota, the University of Colorado State University, Northern Arizona University, University of Alaska at Fairbanks. So wherever you want to go, there is a great program. And actually one of our more recent partnerships is in North Carolina. We used to work very closely with Appalachian State University, but our focus is now going towards East Carolina University with their coastal Studies Institute, where they focus a lot on offshore wind, but actually a lot on marine energy, which is really interesting. So again, depending on where you want to take your love of renewable energy, there's just so many places geographically and topically that you can go with that. So I encourage you to love Virginia, but you know, feel free to spread your wings, because you know everybody is getting in on this. And if you are ever interested in learning more about college programs, postgraduate around the country, you're welcome to email me anytime, and I'd be happy to talk with you. But I think that there are some great things. There's also this program. There's a couple of really interesting programs. Again, if you're interested in postgraduate, there's the North American Wind Energy Academy, which is more research-based group looking at industry-related research opportunities for students in postgraduate environments. And John Miles, I know you're on the call. You might be able to speak more to what NWIA is all about. But the other thing that's a new pilot program that's out there right now is called WindU, which is based on the Danish Wind Energy Academy, where the idea would be that you could take classes at many universities around the US and get a single degree program in wind energy. So the idea is that through WindU, you could access UMass and Penn State and Northern Arizona classes and get a degree in wind energy from multiple universities. So there's some really neat things happening postgraduate. And like I said, I don't want to take up a lot of time in case nobody's interested, but if you have more questions on that, I'd be happy to talk with you more.
Jamie has her hand raised.
Well, first I'll let anyone that has comments on that pitch in, because that was a lot of really great information and I hope someone out there is taking notes. But in addition to the postgraduate train of research, there are a couple of opportunities that I wanted to throw out as well. One of them is programs organized by major players in the industry. Orsted does have a graduate program for students that are graduating from their undergraduate or master's degrees in any sort of renewable energy field, and they can focus in either business development, engineering, or IT and security, which are three major pillars within Orsted. And I know a lot of other major developers out there will offer similar programs, but that's really the main one that I can speak to. But I found that during my undergraduate experience, before I graduated, having hands-on research was vital. Whether it was me trying to better understand how wind and solar technologies work, or just being better acquainted with the industry. Outside of CWC, it's good to get your hands dirty in some of these technologies, no matter what industry you want to go into. And so I also wanted to make a plug for two programs that are available to current undergraduate students if you're looking for, say, a summer internship. And the first one in the US is called the National Science Foundation, REUs. I know that a lot of universities will have these research experiences for undergrads. I believe ODU does have one, but they're found all over the country. You can just go to the NSF REU website, and they've got a big database of programs that you can apply to in any scientific discipline, biology, chemistry, engineering, and there are ones out there that are energy related, but at the end of the day, the renewable space is so diverse and there's so many components that you could study any of those and somehow relate it back to energy. If you are looking to get out of the US, one program that I participated in the summer after my junior year of college is called the DAAD RISE program, DAAD RISE, and it's a German placement program where they'll take American, Canadian, and UK students and place them in PhD research labs in Germany. And you're just serving as an extra pair of hands. They don't expect you to write your own research or anything, but a lot of these researchers will need just extra hands in the lab, and you can find that really anywhere. But this particular DAAD RISE program specializes in taking American students and placing them in German labs, and that's renewable energy specifically or otherwise. So that's just a couple examples. If you are interested in getting your hands dirty and learning how these technologies work at a fundamental level, definitely take a look.
Yeah, Rema, you want to piggyback off of that? Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Just real quick on a couple points there. one with Tom with ODU. ODU is looking forward to start up a offshore program of some sort. We're not sure really yet what that may entail. So we're still kind of working it out with a great friend of ours. I'm sure most of you might know her, of Liz Smith. She has been wonderful. She's the reason why there are quite a few of us on this call, I imagine. And so we are looking to do that with ODU. There's another few points there to piggyback on Remy there. UMass is wonderful. I actually got the opportunity to take that course as well. And so learning the technical side is kind of what pushed me to learn then, or I guess really on paper, then to really learn the hands-on boots on the steel or boots on the ladder, if you will, through Brian's course. And so getting kind of the both sides of it really to offshore wind and working with people. So to piggyback on Jamie, people matter, and it's so important. All the people that you meet within this industry. One thing I've realized in working with offshore wind, especially just in the renewable energy sector, is that people really work with each other. It's a really great field to get involved in because people want you to succeed, because we all want this to succeed. And so it's really nice to kind of have that, and in working with other technicians, or whether on the pilot project, the 2 turbines that went out, working with people that actually constructed it and putting it up there, being able to do that myself, to know what it is they go through, was really, really a great opportunity. So kind of wherever you fit in is just great. It's needed everywhere. So yeah, thank you.
Absolutely. Well, we have about 4 minutes left, and I did receive one phenomenal suggestion from Marlena, who is on the call still. So we're gonna go through all of the panelists, and I want you to sum up in a couple of words if it's worthwhile to get involved in the renewable energy industry, and if there is such a thing as too late. So let's start with Remy, because she is the first one I see on the list.
I mean, I think it's totally worthwhile to get involved in the renewable energy industry. I mean, I love what I do every day, and I get to work with fabulous people, and I get to be an example, I think, to my daughter, to show her that you can make a change. So I think it's totally worth it. And I would say, I don't think it's too late. I think that everybody has something to give, and you don't have to be just out of college or just out of high school to give what you have. So I highly recommend this being a place for everybody.
Thank you, Brian.
I would echo some of the same things that Remy said. I would definitely recommend it. First of all, the excitement of the field. We mentioned the relationships that you're able to make, just the newness of what you're going to be involved in. I think it's incredible. Again, like this morning, I was on the phone with a lady from West Virginia's Office of Energy. You know, I would have never dreamed I would be involved in that, but hopefully trying to form a partnership. So it opens up so many doors. And so, again, I would definitely recommend. I don't think it's too late by any means. I think the future is very, very bright there. So I think that if that's something that you want to pursue, I would by all means say follow through.
Awesome. Robin?
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I would like to take this opportunity. You know, it's definitely not too late. It's actually, you know, perfect timing, you know, to enter into this industry with renewables right now. The Commonwealth of Virginia, especially, they're accelerating their clean energy through the passage of the Virginia Clean Economy Act. So just want to take this time to, you know, mention that that was passed last July, and it commits the state to achieving 0 carbon emissions by 2050. And, you know, for Dominion Energy Virginia, this includes solar as well as onshore wind. And the VCEA, it actually mandates 16,100 megawatts of renewables by 2035. So this is just such a wonderful opportunity to get involved. So I would definitely encourage everyone. And if anyone has any questions and wants to reach out to me, that is fine as well. So excited. Thank you.
Of course. Let's hop over to Tom.
Sounds like there's a great opportunity. It's perfect timing in growing I would say also the cool thing, just looking at the panelists you got today, like we're the whole spectrum there in a way, from the technical, engineering, design, siting, finance, GIS, oceanography. That's really what would make it exciting. If I was starting it all over again, well, I'm here now. But also even like hydrokinetic energy, which I don't think there's the only one that didn't kind of come up today. That wave energy, tidal energy, this future is pretty bright, and give you opportunity to move through a career into all of these areas.
Awesome. David.
I would say it's 110% worth it. When, like people mentioned before, when you can wake up every day and be excited by what you do, it's just all the better. I think that once you realize a more responsible way to do something like produce energy and it works, you have to do it. And to the question of, is it too late? For you guys, it's definitely not too late. Like I mentioned earlier, I was 2 months away from graduating essentially when I got started with all of this, and I was kind of like, oh crap, I need a job. So that's what a lot of this came from. So it's definitely not too late for you all. However, I would say it's starting to get too late for us as a society, right? We see the writing on the wall. We've seen what climate change can do to the world, and we're late to act. So we need more people like you to join the industry.
Fantastically said. Jamie.
Yeah, I think my fellow panelists said it best. The one piece of advice that I'll leave you all with is not only entering the renewable space, being such a pillar of our society right now, but just being sustainably minded and working towards these solutions, not just in your job, but in every way that you live. And I've come to love how my fellow colleagues at Orsted, we embody this vision to be a more sustainable world. And yes, it's part of our job, but also we're trying to compost at home and things like that. So just encourage those around you to work towards those solutions as well.
Yeah, and Rema.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, great points all around. Yeah. It's never too late to get involved in anything you're passionate about, you're driven about. You can start whenever. Right now would be a great time. Like David said, with what's going on, it's definitely needed. But I would say there's something for everyone in offshore wind and in renewable energy as a whole. So yeah.
Fantastic. Well, that's going to conclude it for us today, folks. Thank you all so much to everybody who is still here. I know we went a little bit over time. Thank you to all of our panelists. You have been such a phenomenal group. I know it's majority just us now, but thank you again for joining us. Thank you for closing out our lunchtime webinar series with such an incredible call. We are so grateful to you all for being here with us and talking to everybody. I think you have imparted some phenomenal words of wisdom to everyone who was able to join. And with that, I am going to say farewell. If anybody has any other questions, feel free to email me or Remy.
And we'll share the link to the recording afterwards.
Yes.
Yeah. So in case you want
we'll
to
be
share
sending
it
out
far
a
and wide
link
with your colleagues.
Yes. All right. Well, it's been great talking with you all. We will see you again soon. Bye.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
everyone.
Bye.